incorporate both aspects into one video, which I usually do anyway when I do healing and stuff like that. So, but I just thought I'd title it differently today. So, yes, I think we all need healing. We sometimes forget that no one is immune to anything, and there are moments we hurt each other because we tend to project our feelings, our negative feelings and vibrations at each other because we don't want to feel alone. When someone's hurting, it's always a cry for help, it's a cry for love, and this is why so many people are so deeply wounded right now, and nobody knows how to fix that. Everybody seems to have gotten so creative at coming up with comebacks or pinpointing red flags in others that they forget to heal themselves. And this is what causes so much pain and so much suffering, is so many people with unhealed, untreated wounds, blockages within their body. That contributes to sufferers, hurting sufferers, and then those sufferers who've hurt others, who've been hurt by sufferers, cause others with love in their hearts to suffer as well. And sometimes we need to realize that we can't communicate with just everyone, and you learn that pretty quickly growing up. And this is where we're taught, don't talk to strangers. But that has a hidden meaning. I think what that really is trying to say is that I don't want you to get emotionally damaged early on. Wait until you're old enough to start talking to strangers. Does that make sense? And so when you register that, when you kind of put two and two together and you realize there's a deeper meaning behind why we were programmed and told a lot of things growing up, and that sometimes it actually makes sense from a grown man or woman's perspective looking back, and it didn't make sense before. Why can't I talk? So strangers include all my childhood peers as well, people that I came across. They were the same age as me, but I can't talk to them because they're strange to me. And why stranger, right? Why are we so quick to judge people? Why are we so quick to say, hey, this person is odd until I know them, until they're in my personal space? Did that register yet? Why is there so much fear implanted early on? So, I think when we are more trusting and open, not foolishly trusting, but trusting in our heart when something feels right, that is the key, that is the way. Now, I'm not saying that when we were younger that we should just talk to anyone and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go in your car. No, obviously not. So there are some limitations, of course, certainly, but I'm talking about why are we so judgmental? Why are we so skeptical? And the parents who say that none of that has ever happened to them, typically growing up. Or another parent told them that's how you should raise your offspring. So, regardless, it's just something that I want to start this video off with today. It's just kind of getting a vibe of you and maybe what you're experiencing, and I'm going to continue talking some advice, but also using my crystals at the same time and healing you through certain issues. And something I've come across recently is, why are people telling you certain things? And it's been something that's been irking me lately and getting on my nerves, actually. And it's something maybe suppressed or been hidden for a long time, but it's something new that's been surfacing while healing through my old issues. New issues come up, and I'm starting to get agitated when people tell me something, even without asking me how I'm doing, or they will not have spoken to me in several years, and all of a sudden they will say, oh, this has happened in their life, or this has changed in their life, or this is what's different. And I even get a lot of that from random comments, And I always wonder and ask myself now, why are they telling me this? Like, I'm glad to hear, I'm proud of this person for how much they've changed or accomplished or done, but why are you telling me this? You ever wonder that? Why is someone really telling you that? Is it because they want to be better than you? Do they feel less than inside, and they want to project that one little good thing that happened to them in their life, in their day? Maybe. But why? Why, after not having reached out to this person for several years, all of a sudden you update them on your life? Why? Why do we do these things, And I'm just kind of trying to observe it, because it's been happening to me a lot lately. I'm trying to observe it with open eyes and arms, but at the same time, it's difficult too, when you wonder why. Why didn't you message me when you were going through crap? Why didn't you message me when you were at your worst? Why did you forget about me or ignore me and not reply to me? Only when you're at your best, you reach out. And so that's something I'm working on today while we're healing together. Because we all have something to work on. Always. You can't change my mind. You'll be 65, and you may have done the healing profession for 40 plus years, and you still have stuff to work through. So, let's see what that's about. I'm going to start with amber. Amber. So I just want you to stare at the crystal. Do not look at me. Stare at the crystal. Ignore the fuzziness, ignore the fading in and out of the focus on the camera. Just stare at the crystal. The best way you know how. If it really makes you uncomfortable, stare at the candle flame. Right there. Or the tip of the obelisk. Or maybe stare into one of my eyes. Or stare at a point on your wall or ceiling. And just allow this amber to almost start looking like a flame of a candle. Almost as if it's dancing and fiery. And this will just simply allow you to relax, to receive the healing today. And I send you some grounding vibes with this amber stone as well. And I'm going to follow it now along with my eyes as well while I do this, so I can start to get into a light hypnotic state with you. And just sort of let it flow, let it be, let go whatever you are experiencing at this moment in time. Try to detach, try not to heavily invest yourself into those thoughts you're thinking of at this moment in time. Just allow yourself to be well rested and relaxed, the best way you know how. And relax. Just relax. I feel like you're very tense right now. Drop those shoulders. Drop that jaw. Let go. What are you holding on to? What are you holding on for? Why are you competing? Why are you in so much competition with yourself? Why do you need to be better than others? Why is it that you make that the dominant focus and trait of your life? Can't you just simply be? Can't you just simply let go? Why do we collectively have to have an opinion of others and their lives? Why do we have to feel triggered by what someone tells us or doesn't tell us? Why is that? Just ask why. Let that frustration build up within you. And let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I'm going to work on your energy clockwise and counterclockwise to sort of release those blockages within you. Let go of all those thoughts in your mind. Drawing them, dispelling them away. Creating a new vibration within you. Emanating peace, tranquility, sustenance. Energies that can sustain you long term. So you can let go of these ways, these old ways of thinking, transforming them, and I feel it now in my third eye as well. Wow, it's very powerful. Connect. Don't forget to connect. You don't have to talk to someone to connect with them. You can just simply think of them, and that can be a beautiful, loving connection. There doesn't need to be a message to say I love you. We don't need that reminder. We know. We remember we're always loved eternally. We don't need another human to tell us that we love ourselves. Got it? Good. Okay, so even if some of these concepts you don't understand, or you don't believe it, or it hasn't really solidified in you quite yet, allow yourself the time to process these things, and you will have new beginnings. Wonderful, beautiful, amazing beginnings. By the way, I did forget to do my little shout out at the beginning for TonyBomboni.com. I know, like, one person said it was kind of repetitive. They're like, we get it, we know you have a website, but I was like, sometimes I like to introduce it. I don't in every single video like role plays, but yeah, and I made that little, someone pointed out that the text was too small on the bottom left of your screen, so I made it larger so it's more readable. So yeah, I'm actually offering for 1 day only. I might have to extend the coupon code, but 25% off, code Tony25. So that's 1 day only, so snatch it up while you can. But I have to remind myself to renew the code because I only offered it to my newsletter poopsies, and that's why it's important you sign up for the newsletter. So I apologize, but sometimes you need to take time off from the healing to allow you to rest, recover, process, and then we can continue. So that's that, guys. And make sure you subscribe if you enjoy this. Okay, so there we go. Was that too repetitive for you? Anyway, so I need to eat too, for goodness sake. I mean, you get this content for free, right? I have to shout it out, If you really can't stand it, I guess you can skip through the part where I say that at the beginning, but I'm just being honest with you, like, a brother gotta eat, like, I can't do these videos without that support, obviously, so, alright, just being real with you, right? There's no room for cutting corners today. We're healing together. We are being honest with each other. We are being upfront. We are saying what's on our mind, what's on our heart, and, someone likes me or not. I'm not here to care. I'm here to help. So I do that with my website work. And that is a golden place to do that healing, to give that advice like I do here. And if you ever happen to need more extra advice and healing, I'm there for a reason. It's just a simple click away. Link in the description. Alright guys, so we have here Himalayan gold azestolite, and this is absolutely my favorite crystal because it's mysterious and so misunderstood, and I think that's why I resonate with it so much. It's because people have always been telling me that I'm mysterious, and I always felt misunderstood. When I say one thing, people think I mean another. When I try to come across a certain way, it always comes across another way. But then I quickly realized that we need sometimes the heaviness, we need sometimes the darkness, and the light knows that they cannot exist without the darkness underneath them. Does that make sense? So imagine dark forces like a platform for the light to sit on. So the ancients knew what they were talking about when they first drew the yin-yang symbol. It's not one without the other. So when we are selfish enough to believe that we don't need certain forces, we have to go through the darkness, the lesson, to come back into the surface, above the surface. You see, so we have to dip in and out. I always say a perfect life is a useless one. It's a boring one. If I had a life like that, I might as well start over. Like from square one. I call my guides, my ancestors, and say, give me another life. Because you don't go through anything with that kind of life. That's what they call a resting life, an in-between life. Some people say NPC. Okay, I don't want to say NPC, that's kind of rude to call someone that. I believe they exist, but just because they have a perfect life does not mean they are just programmed into this reality. It's technically a life that is supposed to be in between lives, or a resting state. So if someone has like nothing going on in their life, totally perfect, totally beautiful, that's beautiful in its own way. And honestly, there's lessons in those kind of lives too. So it doesn't mean that there is no lesson to be learned or had, but what I'm trying to say is that that's not the life that most people want as soul, because you do not evolve in that kind of a life. It's just a more resting kind of life. You do not learn lessons, and sometimes there are lives that have those lives because they've already been through all the lessons and this is their final one. So you have to respect it equally. But what I'm getting at here is that when someone is in a resting life and they're not going through anything, and then that one person happens to think that they're better than, or they're of the light, this is also false. Because they probably don't know their situation. They probably are not aware that it's either an in-between state, a resting life, whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't make them any better just because they have no problems in their life. So sometimes some people come across these and they say, I'm not really going through much right now. Yes, but have you forgotten that you did go through a lot? And sometimes there's stuff we've carried into that a lot, into our present, even though it feels like things are going great. Sometimes we are not acknowledging that we have still yet to overcome. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's not one without the other. The perfect life, in my opinion, would be equal good, equal bad moments, a perfect harmony and balance, but you knowing how to react to the bad so that you can look forward to the great moments ahead. Because I always repeat this, it is your R R-E-A-C-T-I-O-N. Your reaction to things. So if someone were messaging you that triggered you, what is the reaction they are trying to pull or harvest from you or receive from you? And what are you choosing to react back to them, to bounce back to them? Does everything need a reaction? Does every time someone says something that triggers you, you have to trigger them back? Is it your job to do that? And a lot of times, people who are either bored, don't have much going on, don't find purpose, a lot of times, those energies, I emphasize a lot of times, not always, try to either harvest or trigger because they don't see a way out of their situation. They don't. So if someone has hurt you before and they harvested your energy and you knew they were taking from you, what was your reaction to that soul? Think about this reaction. Keep that thought. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. We're going to send that thought some love and healing right now. Some good vibrations. You might feel a little pain. I'm feeling a little bit of a shooting through my, well, anyway, it's irrelevant. You don't need to know. But I'm feeling a little discomfort somewhere right now. Some pulsations while we move the energy. Change the reality. Maybe you need to change how you look at things. And oftentimes, those who have been triggered easily have been hurt the most in their life, and they didn't know how to heal from that. It is not your job to heal them. It is not your responsibility to always have to be there for them. You have to be there for yourself, and through being there for yourself, you can be there for them by setting an example of what it looks like to take care of your own needs first, to meet your needs. We cannot help anyone unless they help themselves first, and it's a choice. Let me tell you a story, and I never shared this before, and it's very sad, but it's true. A distant family member passed away a couple years ago, and they found me on the YouTube through a collab video I did because they watched their videos. And they needed my help, and I couldn't help them. I was told not to reach out to this person because they were very unwell in many ways, and their mind was deceiving them, and they just weren't well. still have a hard time with that emotion. I don't really know what it is or what it means. I don't understand it, but maybe it's something I healed. I don't know. Okay, I just don't carry that feeling ever. But if I could imagine as close as it felt like, that would probably have been it. Not having known how to help this person and knowing their life ended shortly because of their decisions and their mental health. And so I felt as close to guilt as you could feel, I guess. Meaning not fully, but like as close as I could feel. And I'm very honest with that. I don't feel it. I just don't. Call me what you want. Diagnose me how you want. I don't feel guilt. Ever. This is why I don't really regret anything in life. I just don't feel shame. I don't feel like, I feel embarrassed sometimes, but that's more like for attention or like my own little stupid actions I do, like oops, I dropped that, like I'm so embarrassed, but it's more like a show, but I don't actually feel like if I did something wrong in my past, I fully acknowledge I did, and I don't really, like, why should I feel bad, like that. I'm very well aware of my actions, and I guess that's coming through now while we're doing healing together, because this is a process back and forth, maybe it's something you're going through too, but it still bothers me to this day, because some people are like, oh, I'm so ashamed, oh, I'm so guilty, and I'm always like, I almost want to roll my eyes, like, when a friend says it, I'm just like, why, it's like trying to tell a kindergartner, and that's not to belittle myself, but it's like trying to tell a kindergartner college education mathematics material, like, yeah, good luck with that, so that's how it registers to me. I'm just rolling my eyes like, why though, why? I don't understand it. So what I'm trying to get at is I didn't feel that way, just maybe an ounce, maybe beginning an ounce. And then I realized I don't have to feel it, because one, I didn't know this would have happened. I didn't know she would have left this earth so soon, and it was a complete accident. Like, it ended up being like, I won't even go into details, but it was not her choice to leave. It was a complete like a freak accident. Okay. 2, it is not my responsibility to help someone, no matter how painful and sad the situation. And 3, I do not have to grieve. I still remember this one motivational speaker to this day saying that we do not have to grieve. And it is very true, although very difficult, because I've also lost different family members, and that was like tears, like horrible, like, I think my eyes are not the same ever since then, because I had so many tears, and they just haven't been the same since. So, it's this horrible, like, grief and not guilt, it's more grief. But when she said, I don't have to feel guilt, when I applied those 3 principles, it still took me a while to get over, like, wow, I should have messaged her, had I known, I should have just, been there, but then I remembered, 4, at the time, I wasn't really caring enough to. I didn't care for them. I heard nothing but negative stuff from, other family members about them. So I'm like, why should I? Why should I have been there for them? When that's all I've been told is like, avoid them, and that if you let them into your life, they'll do more damage than good. So I was like, okay, I just believe what I was told. And so, I think a lot of us are this way, at times. We have to trust our own heart, and I knew my heart was tugging to reach out to them, but I never did. And I was always wondering why. Why was I having this back and forth tugging up between my instinct and what I was told in my mind, right? So, it was too late. I can't take that back. What's done, what's happened is done. That was their soul contract. That was meant to be. There's nothing I could have done. So, that totally ancestors, passed on loved ones. I know we're channeling their energy now, but yeah, I want to say I'm sorry if you are here. I'm sorry for not having reached out to you. And I know on the other side you're looking at me through the eyes of love and you're saying, it's okay. What's done is done. You couldn't have done anything to prevent what would have happened anyway. And I know that. And part of me feels like maybe the butterfly effect. You know, if I had messaged them, they wouldn't have been there at that certain time and that thing happened to them. You know, but I know what's meant to be is meant to be, and I can't change the timeline. So I guess what I'm trying to say to you guys is that maybe there's a similar situation you've been through, and you still have some hurt, some regret. And I wasn't, honestly, I guess I was embarrassed a little bit to share this story because, you know, it made me look like the bad guy that I didn't reach out to this person on time. And so, you know, but then I also, realized that the last time they reached out to me and then the time that happened was months apart. So, I knew that they said they needed my help, or they were going through a lot and they needed prayers and all that stuff, but there was nothing I could have done. And I knew that deep down, there was nothing I could have done. Because every time there are those in my life who have come through and needed help, I've given them time, money, prayers, healing, energy, effort, nothing helped. And it only brought me pain. And it only drained my energy. And I was left with nothing. Never once reciprocated. Never once shared mutually. In a situation like that. And it was always giving selflessly without expecting to be receiving, of course. But looking back, there's still the human mind that says, why? Why did I not receive? Why did I not benefit? Why did I not gain from that situation? Why did it only bring me more pain? More hardship and suffering and loss and agony in my soul, in my heart. Why did my heart get broken so much? And you wonder, is it even worth giving anymore? Sometimes as a healer you wonder, is it even worth healing anymore? Is it even worth, because there's always that dark energy that tries to take what good you put out into the world. But instead of fighting it, resisting it, we can accept it. We can embrace it and love it and say, you know what? This is why we're here. This is why we live. This back and forth balance is what keeps us alive. You can't have the continent of Africa without some water under it, some ocean, some crust, some lava. No matter how big you are, you could be as small as the Canary Islands or as big as the African continent. You need some water. So, let that resonate with how it does. This is Healerite. And we're just gonna go in. And I've been healing you while talking the whole time, but just we have to bring up these subjects sometimes and let them come out. So if there is an ancestor energy, you're healing you with us today. Thank you for that. Thank you for giving your time. You don't have to do that. You didn't have to come through today, but thank you. And any of my viewers, ancestors as well, that can come through and heal us together. Because we're all in this together. We're all in this, I don't want to say fight battle. No. Let's stop resisting. Let's stop looking like life is a living hell. Let's start accepting that life is just life. It just is. It simply is being itself. Why would you judge that creation, which is yourself? And when we have a judgmental attitude towards others, or we're just judging ourselves. It's all insecurity. I know you were bullied growing up, or you were teasing others growing up. It's all the same. Nobody wins. The one who bullies is the insecure one. The one who's been bullied has many insecurities. It's all the same. It's all the same. Pain projected differently. And if we just come to terms and realize this, nothing matters anymore. We can all grow up, evolve, shift. Look how crazy the world's become. But also look at the beauty at the same time. Sometimes, only sometimes, when you've had enough, when you've simply just had enough, and you've had so much pain to the point of derealization, dissociation, then you truly realize how good it feels to be free and to just let go. To let time go by so fast, and to realize how precious time is, how precious every second of your life truly is as eternity, as eternal sovereign souls. And you are not human, you are soul. You are not just this mere vessel. And when we start looking at everyone like energy, we can truly begin to heal, instead of relying on something to fix the body. But what about the energy emitting the body? The sacred ancient teaching. I feel called to my onyx, so I'll bring it in as backup. So I'm going to hold this and just channel with you. Close your eyes and allow whatever messages come to your mind to flow. Just be and just simply let go. Expand, open up your aura. Imagine this orb, this bubble all around you of energy, and it expands and goes outward. Outwards, outwards, outwards. So big that it envelops your entire room, maybe your entire home, maybe your entire neighborhood. See how big that energy of yours goes out. Some people's go only 3 feet out. Some people's can go for miles. And ask yourself, why are you here? Why do you reside where you reside? Why do you choose to live where you live? Talk to that higher self of yours now. Ask them. Get in contact with you. And only you right now. No one else but you. And ask yourself, why? Why is it that I'm here? Receive the ancient knowledge and wisdom now. Receive. Just receive. With love. Maybe you have some answers that you've been looking for this whole entire time. Rose quartz, sending you some love now from my heart to your heart. Sometimes you just have to get away, retreat, take a step back, admire how far you've come, and observe how far you have to go. But it's now. And that's what this should make the focus, is now. And this is how you shift your energy. Truly, it starts from your heart, not your mind. But we had to start from the mind first to get rid of those cloudy, negative thoughts. You don't have to focus on beauty, on looks, how good you look, how good others look. Why does it matter how we smell? Why does it matter if our shirt is wrinkled today? Why does it matter if we look a little slumped or hunched over today? Can we just be without judgment? I had a partner who would always say, oh, maybe you should cut your hair now, or it's getting a little too long. Why? I asked him once, why? And I enjoyed as I watched him sit there in silence and walk away, foolishly. Why? You ever ask someone why? Why? Why do you think kids ask that question a lot? Because they know. They see through your insecurity. They see your flaws before you even see them yourself, oftentimes than not. And why do you think it frustrates parents when they hear the kids say, why? And then they're like, shut up. Because they don't know. And they don't want to say that they don't know. They don't want to admit they don't know. I think a lot of people, the hardest thing to say is, I don't know. I don't freaking know. Can you say I don't know with me? Can we say it together? I don't know. I don't know why I told you you need to cut your hair today. I don't know. Oh, maybe I do know. It's because I feel like I don't look good enough. I don't feel sexy enough. I don't feel hot enough because I'm getting old and I'm having wrinkles. Or I'm gaining some weight. Or someone online said that I look too fat. Oh, maybe that's why. Or I look too skinny. Maybe that's why. We thus have to dump it on someone instead of learning how to manage it as grown adults. Ourselves. So the irony, the yin-yang, is we need someone a lot younger to remind us how to be older. Because I'm telling you, the young ones are a lot older than they look. So I'll leave it there. My way of giving love is tough love. So, Bloodstone. I love the energy right away. It feels so good. I'm just gonna hold it here and send you peace. I think we rearranged your energy enough. And we just need to kind of be right now. So just enjoy this moment. I hope you enjoyed. I truly hope. No, I mean it. I hope you enjoyed your spiritual teachings and advice today. This is not for everyone. This is not everyone's cup of tea. I accept that. I face that head on. Understanding that this will be a video people will not like. Because it brings up the stuff that we don't want to admit or talk about. Or taboo subjects. It feels like I'm hugging someone now, like I'm hugging like my past self now. Continuing healing that inner child. Telling them it's gonna be okay, they'll get through it. And I always always knew that. I always knew in my heart as a kid, and this now makes sense, that my older self was watching over me, sometimes, and hugging me, and reminding me that it's going to be alright in the future. And I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I always knew. But this is my truth. It doesn't mean it's factual. But it feels good to know now that even someone older than I am, my future self is telling me that I overcome, that I will be alright. And this confirms and reassures to me that it will be okay, but they come through as a different energy. I don't really see them as older anymore. It feels like a different energy. Bloodstone. What a beautiful, marvelous, powerful crystal. I just want to have a whole boulder of bloodstone. Honestly. Blue tanzanite. So, thank you, just thank you. I want to send my love and gratitude and express to you, if you come this far, you are worth it. You are the warrior that cares about themselves, that wants to heal, that wants to get better. Let's let go and stop focusing on becoming a better person. Let's let go and stop focusing on how are we going to come across to other people better. Because a lot of times that's what I hear when I hear someone say, and I used to say this all the time, I want to be a better person. My goal in life is to be a better person. And it's still a goal I have. But that oftentimes translates deep down to, I want to come across better to other people. You're already a better person. You have to see it first. And by becoming better, what you're really trying to do is say to yourself, I want to stop feeling the pain of being rejected. I want to stop feeling the pain of not coming across the best way I know how to other people, because when I talk to people, I feel like they're judging me secretly. I feel like they're uncomfortable in my energy and my presence. You only have to be better for you. You only have to be better from your past self. Compare yourself to your past self, not that person messaging you and telling you how much has changed in their life. That's their life. You have to leave that alone. That's not yours to control, and you cannot control other people and what they do with their lives. You can only control yourself, your reaction, and be better than your past self. And once you grasp that it all starts from you, everything begins to have clarity, to make complete and total sense. Now, stare at the crystal, or wherever makes you comfortable again, as we begin to snap out of this state of being, and you having this full awareness. And if you close your eyes the whole time, then you can slowly, gently open them and start staring at the stone, okay? Or wherever. And you can open your eyes now, fully, completely awake, refreshed, feeling the best way that you know how at this time. We all get old. We all age. We all come and go. What stays forever is your internal peace. And that stays by knowing yourself, your truth, aligning with what feels right in the moment, being, letting go, forgiving yourself first before forgiving others. Remember, it starts with you and only you. May peace always be with you. I wish nothing more than this, truly, and I mean it. Put this over your throat chakra now. and say something that's on your mind. Breathe and say something that's on your mind. Breathe and say something that's on your mind. It is received and acknowledged. Face it, accept what you said. Understand it holds the key to your future. Maybe you said something nasty to someone. Face it, accept it, move on. What's done is done. It happened. It has no room in your present environment at this moment in time. You're feeling too good right now. You're in a cloud to be looking back. So I assume most of you have said something amazing. Accept it. Then move on. You don't need to stay in that amazing either. You don't need to force yourself to smile, to look better, to dress different. Be. Just be. And this is where all the answers come. And guess what? Sorry to disappoint you, but there is no answer. The answer is nothing. Well, maybe we can save that for next time. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for allowing me to work with you spiritually and crystally. If you enjoyed this, TonyBomboni.com. Subscribe to the bell, hit all notifications if you want more videos like this from me. I work with a lot of crystals, advice videos, life advice, healing. I have an appointment, so I have to get going, but I very much look forward to helping you all out on your journey even more. And I will see you, yes you, next time. I love you all so much. Again, the crystals were tanzanite, rose quartz, bloodstone, healerite, Himalayan gold, azestolite, and amber, and onyx. Don't you just feel so much better? Like, oh, like, I love that after a good healing session, it's like, you can just continue on with your day and you feel so much lighter. You just drink a lot of water, though, make sure you do. Okay,